everyone, it's Ken and Adra here from Northern Viking Explorer. Today we want to share with you our review of our Obstructed Oceanview cabin E224 on the Grand Princess. Let's go ahead and dive right into it.
Let's talk about our cabin. It was an Obstructed Oceanview cabin, cabin E224. It was on deck 8, also known as the Emerald deck. It was on the left-hand side towards the front.
Yeah, we were actually right above the entrance to the Princess Theater.
Which we knew could be interesting.
Yeah. And it was also an obstructed ocean view, so we didn't know what to expect for that as well. So we'll get to the view in a moment, but let's talk about the bedding and the bed.
Yes. Now with Princess, I've always been quite happy with the bedding.
Yeah.
I find this did not disappoint. It was a soft bed. The linens were nice. Thought it was plush.
That's how I would describe it as well. I feel like every time we've sailed on Princess, the bedding is quite plush, and we don't wake up with sore backs. It's just been comfortable for us. So our bed was a king bed. You can have it separated into two twins. It was nice that way. Now, the one thing I also appreciated, and I know you do as well, is the nightstands had 2 drawers in them plus an open area.
I like that. It makes it good to store little things that you may need to tuck away. And there was USB A ports. Was it A ports?
Yeah, I'll get to the plugs in a moment, but both nightstands did have USB A ports in them, which is handy. It is nice to be able to charge a device beside the bed at night.
I think a lot of people like to have their phones close to them, so it's a bad habit, but you like your phone next to you.
But your phone is also your alarm. It's
a nightlight,
it's
flashlight.
A nightlight. It's your kind of agenda you can look at there. It's for communicating with other people on the ship. So it definitely is something you use a lot.
And for me, reminiscing about the day, looking at the photos and thinking of all the things we've done, I like my phone.
So there is also a main light switch behind kind of the pillows of the bed, so you can turn out the lights. You don't have to get up and walk over.
Which you might miss because it's right smack. If the beds are put together, it's smack in the middle. So
yeah, but let's talk about the plugs quickly because this is important to us. So again, both nightstands had a USB-A port on them for charging. Now over by the vanity or desk, there was 2 North American plugs. Now, do keep in mind they're quite close together, so if your chargers are on the larger side, you might not be able to use both of them at once, but they are there. There was also, this one's an odder plug, but it's the Australian style.
Odd to us.
Odd to us, yeah. So there's the Australian style on the vanity, but that also had 2 more USB-A ports, which was handy. And then because the room's been modernized and now has a flat screen TV, where the old kind of square box style TV used to be in the corner, there was also a North American plug there.
Yes. Now there was one more plug though under the bed, and that's what the lights are hooked into. But that's also
that was a European plug. Yeah. Yes. So they actually delivered a fan to us. We asked to get a fan, which was a nice light.
Nice fan.
And they actually brought kind of a power bar that was the European one, and then that plugged into there. So that was hidden. It was really hard to see.
Yeah.
And I should also mention in the washroom there's a shaver plug which had North American and European. So there's quite a few plugs in this cabin. I was pleasantly surprised, a lot more than last time we sailed on Princess.
And you brought an adapter too for the Australian plug. So we had more than enough plugs to hook all our stuff in.
Yeah. So we kind of already mentioned the TV. So it used to be in the corner, kind of the square box. Now it was a nice big flat screen straight across from the bed. So maybe 42 inches.
Yeah, it was a good size. And the angle for watching TV from bed was good. As well as moving that TV out of the corner opened up like a lot of storage space. Like it made a giant open shelf. It looked a little awkward, but for keeping stuff up there,
I kept all my gadgets up there and stuff, so it was good. And there was a plug for charging.
So it works if you want. Yeah, it's great.
The TV though, one thing I do like about Princess, they have a fair amount of complimentary on-demand movies to watch, as well as comedies, TV shows, that sort of thing.
Especially if you like your marathon sitcoms, you can find a lot of your favorites on there and just watch a lot.
But we do have a wish.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was just our room. So it's common that your signal will cut out on a cruise when you're going through areas, but our TV on demand was not stable on the ship, which surprised me.
It surprised me because I would think that the entertainment would be stored there on the ship and that they wouldn't need internet to receive that.
Yeah. So, I mean, we tried watching a few movies, we at parts of the cruise it was fine, but other times it would just be pause and say no connection. And we tried watching and starting it over and it would just crash. So we gave up.
Yeah.
But I probably should have said something just in case there was a problem with it. But it was.
I think it's an internet issue because I think it depends where you are and you're sailing.
Yeah. So do keep that in mind. But so the rest of the room. So there's the vanity with a chair.
Which is nice, but it's poorly lit. So if you want to do your makeup there, it's not the best. The space is good because there's nice drawers and there's a hairdryer.
There's a hairdryer there, yeah.
So the spacing is good, just not the lighting.
Lots of mirrors as well in the room. So the headboard area is a mirror, a lot of mirror, like by the vanity.
Yeah.
I think there was a mirror in the corner as well.
There was a full-length mirror on the back of the bathroom door.
Yeah, so lots of mirrors. There's a small side round table as well.
Yes.
I don't know that we needed that.
No, I would say it was kind of in the way, but some people might like to have that.
Yeah.
It'd be better if you had a couch, and we didn't have a couch.
Yes, I would agree.
There's a mini fridge in there too. Actually, I would call it a mini cooler.
Yeah.
So if you want to keep some beverages chilled, that's an option in there.
So even though the furniture was dated, it's quite dated.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything worked.
And worked well, like the way it's supposed to. Like all the drawers open smoothly.
Yeah, we've had it where kind of ball bearings are falling out and you can barely open the
or I've
drawers.
gone and opened stuff and it's broken off. Nothing like that happened.
Yeah, so it was well maintained that way. Now we did mention that we're kind of above the theater, the entrance to the theater.
So I would say this wasn't much of an issue for us. But if you are someone who wants to nap or go to bed early, you could hear the sound from the theater.
For sure. I feel like kind of that 3:30 to 5-ish area, it probably changed a little bit. They were definitely practicing for the theater shows in the evening, especially on the days where it was a big production show. You could hear all the music. You could even hear the words.
Yeah. And it didn't bother me at all. Like if I put the TV on, I could still hear the TV above it. For
sure. But if you were trying to have a nap in the afternoon, you might have struggled.
You might want that fan we asked for.
And then, of course, into the evening. So the second show, I believe, was at 9:30 and they were 45 minutes long. You could for sure hear the music for that. So
I don't recall hearing anything after 10:30.
Yeah.
Which is good. But generally the cabin was fairly quiet though.
It was. I don't ever remember hearing the neighbors or people in the hall. There was
vaguely in the hall a couple times.
There was a little vent in the door, and we've had a vent in the door on other ships, and it was really loud.
It was horrible.
And I didn't notice anything.
No, it was a very quiet cabin other than the odd theater sounds.
Yeah. So let's talk about the washroom and the storage. So the main washroom, your average.
It was tight.
Typical. Yeah. A corner shower with a curtain. I guess that's a wish. I don't really like the shower curtain, but for the age of the ship. One thing I do wish, though, is the shower head. I wish it was kind of the removable type. Because the showers are so tight, it was like a fixed head.
Yes. But one thing I did like is the head height was much better than the crown.
Okay. Yeah,
I could just stand under. When I was on the crown, I had to duck.
Mm-hmm.
So this, I appreciate that was taller.
The other thing I appreciate, so they had body wash in there, and then they had a shampoo conditioner. So the conditioner, a 2-in-1. So, but it did have conditioner because you're not going to find that on all cruise lines. There's also a drying rack in there, or line, I should say.
Yeah, which is good because many people have wet swimsuits that. It's a good place to hang them up.
Mm-hmm. Now, we said we didn't have any problems in the room. We did have one problem, I remember.
But this I'm actually impressed with. So I'll explain. When I got in the shower, it would go from cold, hot, cold, hot. It reminded me like when you're having a shower and someone flushes the toilet.
Yeah. But it was scalding hot when it was hot.
Scalding hot. Yeah. And I thought, oh, it's an older ship. This could just be a problem. So I casually mentioned it to our room steward. and she was on it immediately. She got staff to come in and fix it.
And it was totally fine.
Totally fine.
Yeah, so that was on the first day. So fixed right away.
Yeah, and then they followed up. They called to make sure it was working good. So they were really on it. I was actually, from a problem, it actually switched to something that I was impressed.
Yeah.
Really impressed. I would agree.
So the rest of the washroom, so the cruise toilet is there. The vanity was a little on the smaller side. So, but it was ample space. They did have the plugs, again, for the shaver were there. So both the North American and European. And then by the sink, there was liquid hand soap.
And body lotion. Which is nice. Really nice. And also, our room steward asked us if we would like extra towels, which we said yes to.
Yeah.
Not so much of a big deal in Alaska because it's a cooler cruise, but it's nice to have those extra towels in there.
Yeah, maybe you went hot tubbing and you
want a clean towel
or whatever. Yeah. There are towels by the hot tubs, but if you just want it for the room. So outside the washroom was I don't want to say large, a bigger open closet.
So it was smaller than the one we had on the Crown, definitely smaller.
And smaller than the Sapphire.
Yeah.
So, and the Discovery. So it's the smallest one we've had on Princess. Lots of hangers though.
Yes.
It's an open area, so no door on it. This is where they also stored the life jackets.
And
so
that's,
they're above.
even though the life jackets were up there, they only took up a small part of that shelf though, which was really deep. So if you wanted to kind of put stuff out of the way up high, a lot of storage space there.
Yeah. And then across from that is where you're going to find like a cabinet where you open up and there's like shelves to put your clothing in. So, but that wasn't, it was enough for us, but that's where they store the safe. The safe was on the small side, like really small.
Yeah.
Probably the smallest.
Yeah. And some of the shelves weren't very deep because it backed onto the shower.
Yeah.
So some of them were deeper than others.
It was adequate for us for a week, but if you were doing a long cruise,
if you had a cabin with 4, that would be challenging.
Yeah.
With 4 people.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be much space.
So, but for us, enough space for sure.
It's good.
Now let's jump over to the Obstructed Oceanview window.
Yes, this was a big mystery for us.
Yes.
Because when you're getting obstructed, you're like, okay, how obstructed?
Yeah. So first thing I want to say is I do appreciate the extra light. So it's nice that way. But when you look out the window, so we were above a lifeboat, so kind of the bottom part is covered, and then there's an overhang above us. So you're looking out the window. I would say at least half of the view of the ocean is covered.
Yeah, and some of the sky as well. And even though we got more light, not a lot of light came in. I think because of the overhang.
Yeah. So overall, I do appreciate it. We didn't pay a large amount for the upgrade. So I would definitely do it again. But if you're looking for a full open view, you're not going to get it with that.
If you're hoping to whale watch from your cabin, don't do an obstructed view.
So, other than that, we do have a couple other wishes, I think. So the cabin was cool enough for us for Alaska, but you could definitely tell it wasn't cold. And
I was okay, but just okay for temperature wise, because I actually like my bedroom on the chillier side.
Yeah.
And it never got chilly.
So I'd be curious if they can crank that up for if it's in the Caribbean, how the temperature would be.
Or was it just the location of our cabin?
Yeah.
Just a little warmer.
And then, so we did ask we'd already mentioned a fan, which was nice and big.
Yeah.
And that drowned out sound and
helped with the temperature too. Yeah. So that air movement helps a lot.
Yeah. But overall, the cabin seemed well maintained for the age, and we were happy with it. We had a good week in there. It was a good cabin. So
I'd like to be able to look out and see what the weather is and take a peek. It was a really nice cabin.